feeling that threat to do any lockdown.
On the striking resident doctors, the minister stated that the doctors will no longer be paid as long as they continue to stop work. This follows the invocation of the no work, no pay rule, which Minister of Health, Dr. Osage Henry, said is necessary because, and I quote him, the doctors have no basis for going on strike at this time.
We're having a strike for the third time this year, and that is not good. We have appealed to them. We have been having long meetings with the young doctors. There has been no threat. Nobody threatened anything. It's just an appeal. All of us are doctors. All of us went through the same residency. We're saying this is not the time. Let's go on talking about it. Do not put people's lives at risk. So if it didn't work, why should you go and be saying you should be paid? Because if that is so, you can be encouraged to stay home for 6 months, and your salary is running from public funds, from taxpayers' money, and you have not given the community any service. It's not just a government regulation. It's recommended, it's specifically stated in ILO regulation.
Dr. Osage Hadire right there. Already, the federal government has taken the doctors to the industrial court to show why government should continue to pay them while they are on strike. However, the doctors said they will not back off from the strike and will be at the industrial court on Monday. The federal government yesterday announced that it was set to reintroduce toll collections of some selected dual carriage highways across the country. The government also said that diplomatic vehicles, tricycles, motorcycles, military and paramilitary vehicles will be exempted from paying tolls. This is coming 18 years after the administration of President Olusegun Obasanjo dismantled all toll plazas on federal roads across the country in 2003. The Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, stated this while briefing State House correspondents at the end of the virtual Federal Executive Council meeting, presided over by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo at the First Lady's Conference Room, Presidential Villa, Abuja.
The start-off tools that we have for financial modeling and investment decision-making, cars will pay 200 naira, SUVs and Jeeps will pay 300, private bus will pay 300, commercial 150, luxury buses and trucks will pay 500. Now, I think it is important to share with you how we arrived at these prices. Some of these prices were recommended by the operators themselves that I said we met. Some of them were also obtained from a survey we did across the G6 geopolitical zones, talking to households and talking to people in the garages, motor parks, and all of that, which was quite extensive. It covered, I think, about 17 or so states or 22 states out of the national framework, just to get a sampling of what people felt.
Babatunde Fashola right there. The Osun State House of Assembly has passed a bill to regulate open animal grazing and establishment of cattle ranches and other related matters. The Assembly also passed into law Violence Against Persons Prohibition Bill 2021. The Speaker, Timothy Oweye, at plenary, noted that the bill, when passed into law, will prevent the destruction of farms, crops by open rearing, and grazing of livestock. Oweye added that the bill will also prevent killings, sexual molestation, protect the environment from degradation and pollution caused by open rearing and grazing of livestock. He stated that from the commencement of the bill, no person or group of persons shall rear, herd, or graze any livestock in any part of the state except within permitted ranches. The People's Democratic Party (PDP) has asked the Federal High Court in Abuja to effect the removal of Governor Mala Buni as the governor of Yobe State. Lawyer to the main opposition party, Emeka Etiaba, made the request in a 4-page originating summons filed at the court on Thursday. The party prayed the court to make the governor appear before it and defend whether or not he ceased to be governor by accepting to be the caretaker chairman of the All Progressives Congress, APC. He stated that Governor Buni has breached the provision of Section 183 of the Constitution when, as a governor, he also serves as the ruling party's caretaker chairman. Also joined as plaintiffs in the suit were the Yobe State PDP governorship candidate in 2019, Umar Ilya Damagum, and his running mate, Baba Abba Aji. Listed as defendants were Governor Buni, his deputy, Idi Barde Gubana, the APC, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. As the 1 p.m. news on Splash 105.5 FM, let's quickly take you to the foreign scene. The Taliban have captured Afghanistan's second largest city, Kandahar, in what is a crushing blow for the government and a major win for the militants. The southern city was once the Taliban's stronghold and is strategically important as a trade hub. Reports said the insurgents also seized the nearby city of Lashkar Gah and now control about a third of Afghanistan's provincial capitals, while tens of thousands of civilians have fled the Taliban advance. Many have traveled to the capital Kabul to seek safety and are sleeping on the streets there. Meanwhile, the United States said it was sending 3,000 troops to the international airport in Afghanistan's capital, Kabul, immediately to evacuate U.S. embassy staff as the Taliban makes rapid gains. State Department spokesman Ned Price told reporters that the U.S. is further reducing its civilian footprints in Kabul in light of the evolving security situation. The partial closure of one of China's biggest cargo ports due to the coronavirus has raised fresh concerns about the impact on global trade. Services were shut on Wednesday at a terminal at Ningbo Zhoushan port after a worker was infected with the Delta variant of COVID-19. Ningbo Zhoushan in eastern China is the world's third busiest cargo port. The closure threatens more disruption to supply chains ahead of the key Christmas shopping season. Closing the terminal on Meishan Island until further notice will cut the port's capacity for container cargo by about a quarter. And finally, sports news. Fans will not be allowed to attend the U.S. Open qualifying rounds to ensure health and safety of all. The main tournament will have capacity crowds when it starts on 30th of August. Organizers say the qualifying week will see the greatest number of players and support staff on site, with organizers estimating more than 2,500 people. They added that because of COVID-19, indoor capacity at the Eustace Bailey Jean King National Tennis Center within Flushing Meadows has been reduced, while many of the players' facilities have been moved outdoors during qualifying. The U.S. Open 2020 singles titles were won by Austria's Dominic Thiem and Japan's Naomi Osaka, and it is the fourth and final Grand Slam event in the tennis calendar. The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dari, has blamed the rising unemployment in the country and the dwindling resources. Speaking during an interview, the sports minister said the country has witnessed dwindling resources to cater for the over 200 million Nigerians, in which the majority of the population are the youths. On efforts made by the current administration in empowering the youths, Dari explained that the federal government is committed to equipping young Nigerians with the requisite skills, vocational and technical, stressing that it is a future of jobs as recommended by the International Labour Organization, ILO, and the United Nations.
It's a function of resources. We have seen government resources over time dwindle. When you also go to other countries where you find unemployment stabilized maybe for a while, it's a collaborative effort on the part of government, on the part of the private corporations working together, on the part of international NGOs working together. On our part here, you've seen government really try to allocate resources. They're competing resources. It's a huge country, 210 million people. The youth form a large part of this population. But also, we're trying a reset that emphasizes not just certificate, but that emphasizes skills, vocational and technical skills. That is the future of jobs. That's the future of decent jobs by the ILO, International Labour Organization, and the United Nations. The emphasis is making sure that we have technical and vocational skills. There are jobs out there that some of our graduates and our youth cannot take up because these jobs are digital jobs. Unless you have this added advantage of digital skills, you cannot pick up this job.
And just before we go, a quick recap of our headlines. Nigerian High Commission in London has been closed after 2 officials test positive for COVID-19. And PDP has sued APC and Buni, asks court to remove him as Yobe State Governor. And Taliban has captured Kandahar, Afghanistan's second largest city. US Open 2021 qualifying rounds will be played behind closed doors. For more details on the news, we urge you to please visit our website at www.splashfm1055.com. And now you can download Splash FM mobile app on iOS, BlackBerry World and Google Play Store to listen live, get news update, opinion poll, and you can also report an event live to us through the iReport feature. To download, simply go to any of the stores mentioned and search for Splash FM 105.5 and then click to download. We've now come to the end of the news on Splash 105.5 FM, the integrity station and the best radio station in the southwest of the country. The news editor is Tunde Olawu, assisted by Chinwe Churchill. I'm Seun Akinola, thanking you for investing your time with us. Do have a wonderful afternoon.
Quick, charge at 240.
Hot news, cool vibes, sports, and more on the Integrity Station. We educate, that's why we are respected. We inform, that's why we are loved. More music, we are the best. The Integrity Station. Splash, splash, splash.
105.5.
Splash 105.5.
I'll be flash on my career.
Tune in and listen everywhere you go.
Oh, wow.